my name is Kylie Fries, and this is my monthly books that I've read video. So I'm going to be talking about the five books that I read in the month of March. So the first book that I read in March at the very beginning was Before I Fall by Lauren Oliver, which came out in 2010, and I've been wanting to read it probably since like 2010, and I just never got around to it. And that's why I love that nowadays so many books are becoming adapted to film, because it forces me to like, okay, gotta read this book before I go see the movie. Like, so beginning of March, last minute, I finally read Before I Fall before going to see the film in theaters, and I actually liked both. I liked the book and the movie. So basically what the book is about this girl named Sam who, not spoiler alert because it happens literally at the beginning, she dies in a car accident while coming home from a party with her friends. And basically she's forced to relive that day again and again and again because her friends are just terrible people, and there's like some things that she just needs to kind of like fix, and she's basically living that day again and again to like make her death pretty much mean something. And it actually, like, it doesn't have a great ending because, like, you know she's dead. Like, there's no coming back for the character, but the way that she's able to like make a difference with her death is actually really beautiful, like how the book ends. And the film ended the exact same way pretty much, so I was really happy about that. They didn't like try and sugarcoat things, like it was all just a dream or something, I don't know. But yeah, I really liked it. I liked the way it was written. I really enjoyed all the characters, and I loved all the actors that played the characters in the movie. They did a really good job of it. There were obviously some slight differences, but they weren't differences that like changed the story or like made you think like, why did they do that? Like, it was fairly like true to the book adaptation. So I would give a good review to both that book and the movie. It's like I'm doing a movie review too. Two birds with one stone, man. I would never hurt birds. The next book that I read in March was Caraval by Stephanie Garber, which was the February Alcrate, right? Like the only last month that I got this? I don't know, man. I don't know where I am. What day is it? What year is it? Yeah, I got this in the last Alcrate that I got, which I think is February, okay? And I was really excited about this. I knew that this was the book that we were getting, which is why I did order that Alcrate, because I've heard nothing but good things about this book and it's really interesting. So basically I've talked about this in my Alcrate video, but I'll just repeat the basic plot line. So it's this girl named Scarlett and her sister Donatella. They're living with their like horrible father on like this island, and for years and years since she was a little girl, Scarlett has been writing to the like master of the carnival named Legend, asking him to go to his like famous like carnival. And eventually she does get a response right before she is to be married, and she gets to go to this like event. But as soon as she gets there, like her sister gets kidnapped, and she has to actually find her sister as part of the game where like everyone else is looking for the sister as well. And there's like magic involved with the carnival, so you don't know like what's real and what's not real. Like, and she doesn't know what's real and what's not real. And so like she gets tricked, but as a reader you get tricked. So like at the very end it's just like plot twist, plot twist, plot twist. That's hard to say 3 times. But yeah, like at the end you're like, what? But like it's done really well, and it's like, it's actually a really good book. Like the plot twists are kind of like you know that there's something that like is like off about things, but I mean, I didn't expect like where it was going. So I was really pleasantly surprised by this book. However, I was excited for it because I was under the impression that this was a standalone. It's not. Literally every single time I go to read a standalone, I'm not reading a standalone because there's another fucking book coming out, and I don't know when it's supposed to come out, but I guess the cliffhanger that it left us on is making me excited for it, but at the same time, I just wanted a fucking standalone book. Like, for once, can I read a standalone book? Please. On that note, the book that I read right after Caraval was Carve the Mark, Veronica Roth's new book, which is part of a series, which I didn't realize. I thought this was a standalone, and I bought it because it was a standalone. It's not a standalone. I have way too many series going on now, and I don't know when any of the other books are coming out, and it's just too much to keep track of, and I just wanted a standalone. I just wanted a standalone. I did, however, enjoy this book. It's about this like world where there are different planets and different races of people that are kind of like enemies. So, Syra is one of those races, and she has this power, as everyone does, and her power is that she's just in pain all the time. Calling it right now, worst superpower ever. And then there's Akos, who is part of another race, but he's actually born into that other race that Syra is. So he's like kidnapped when he's a little kid and brought there, and like they end up becoming close, and it's like this whole thing to overthrow her brother, because her brother's like the worst. Like, he's the king because her like parents are dead, and he basically just uses her as his like weapon against his enemies. Like, he makes her hurt people because as much as she's in pain, she can also inflict pain. It's complicated. Anyway, I did enjoy it a little bit, not as much as Caraval, but like, I guess when the next book comes out, I'm gonna freaking read it too. I mean. And the last two books that I read in March, one of which I'm actually still in the process of reading, but it's almost the end of the month, so I'm gonna finish it by then for sure. It's the Passenger series by Alexandra and Bracken. So I read Passenger last week, and I'm about halfway through Wayfarer right now, which is the second book in the series, and it's such a unique book series. I love like time travel like type books, and I have not read a good one in a long time. Like, so this really was a good book. Basically, the main character, Edda, cares about nothing more than like her violin career, except one day her like violin teacher gets shot and killed before she has to like give a performance, and her mom gets kidnapped, and she finds out she's actually from a family of time travelers, and her mom like was born in like early 1900s. Like, it's a mindfuck reading time travel books, like, and like, so there's these passages all across the world. If you go into one passage in one point of time, you'll emerge in another place entirely in another point of time, and basically she ends up being kidnapped into another time period where she is forced to go on this like journey to find this object that allows people to like kind of control the passages and create passages, and she needs to find it so that her mom isn't murdered. So yeah, she has to like find this object to stop the like evil guy who put her on the journey in the first place from killing her mom, but at the same time, if she finds it, she can't give it to him because he's evil and he's gonna do evil stuff with it. So she has to like find it and like keep it from them while saving her mom. I don't know how she thought that was gonna work out. No surprise there, it doesn't. And now I'm reading the second book where more time traveling and looking for this object and stuff is happening. Not actually sure if the book that I'm reading is the last book in the series, if it's just a duology, or if it's actually a trilogy or more. So we're gonna have to look into that. But again, there's more books for me to read. It never ends. Yeah, I think that March was a very successful month for reading because I read 5 books, and I saw a film adaptation for one of them, and all of these books that I read, with the exception of the Before I Fall book, like the other 4 are all new releases, and I'm so used to like going back and reading books that came out like a year or like more ago that I just never got around to. But like now I find myself, like with YouTube, I find myself wanting to, you know, talk about books that are like now and like current, because no one really cares about like older books. I mean, you've heard it all before. So I really like that doing these videos is encouraging me to read like up and coming and like brand new books, because then I get into the hype when the hype is actually hype, not a past hype. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give a thumbs up and tell me in the comments down below if you read any of these books, or if not, what books did you read in March? And please subscribe to my channel if you want more book related content, and as well as like beauty videos and some unboxings and other random stuff. And yeah, as always, I will see you in my next video. Bye!